Good morning. Guess where I'm standing? Right on the edge of the Loch Ness. It's one of the three lochs which divide the north of Scotland along the Great Glen geological fault line. It's a bit fresh here this morning. Loch Ness is about 230 metres deep, which makes it the second deepest loch in Scotland. The loch's peaty stained waters makes it difficult to see, creating a mystery surrounding the Loch Ness. And yes, it's typical Scotland weather.
Nessie, independent research. What's all that about?
Steve Feltham gave up his girlfriend, his house and his job. Does he have any regrets? This man searched his life for the Loch Ness since 1991.
He gave up everything to live by the loch in his tiny van, keeping watch for Nessie, Scotland's most mysterious legend.
The water doesn't feel that cold, but I've only put my fingers in. However, some people love the cold swims.
There are two main circular routes here. There's a shorter red route taking in the Iron Age hill fort.
You can find the collapsed remains of an Iron Age hill fort here too.
And that's about 2.5 kilometres. We have decided to walk the longer blue route around the hill, which is supposed to have some good views of the Firth. This walk's about 4 kilometres long. Ord Hill is a prominent summit on the Black Isle.
Look at all the rocks up there.
What did you say about these formations?
At the summit of Ord Hill are the remains of an Iron Age vitrified hill fort, believed to date back over 2,000 years.
The views promised by the sign and the websites are blocked with trees.
Right, here we go. That's 1,
2, 3, 4, 8, 9.
10. And there's a better view. See over there?
Yeah.
Cool, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go back up the steps now.
Yeah.
Naughty. Yeah. Yeah. No.
That's a heap of Christmas trees. Gosh, everything's so green and mossy. A reflection of Scotland's climate, I guess. The Scottish thistle.
A pretty flower stands as a symbol of pride and resilience, reminding us that even the wildest landscapes have their protectors. As it's my first few days in Scotland, I can't get enough of these beautiful stone buildings and stone fences.
So we're in a town called Avoch, spelled A-V-O-C-H. You drop the A-V, just say Avoch. It's on the edge of Moray Firth. Avoch is an historic fishing village.
Avoch developed as a fishing village that produced sailcloth textiles from the 18th and 19th centuries. The harbour was built in 1814.
Avoch has a connection to Bonnie Prince Charlie. After the Battle of Culloden, it is said that Bonnie Prince Charlie used Avoch as a hiding spot.
the prince was sheltered in a fishing cottage and perhaps smuggled across the Moray Firth. Unlike the polished coastal resorts, fishing villages keep a raw authenticity, don't they? The beauty lies in their working roots. The houses here huddled together as if bracing against centuries of North Sea winds. It's a beautiful, quaint village, and I just love the colours of the buildings next to the stone buildings and the fact that they take pride in their doors, painting them different colours, giving them impact and style. The air here seems to carry a mix of sea salt, history and resilience. See how full the doors are. You can almost imagine the generations of fishermen setting out at dawn. Aren't these little streets cute? Avoch has a long history as a herring fishing port. In the 18th and 19th centuries, it was one of the busiest on the Moray Firth. Here's house. This charming Gothic church was built in the mid-1800s, and a reminder that faith and community were as central to village life as the sea itself. Look at this row of houses, a perfect snapshot of Highland coastal life. At the top of the hill I found this, the old schoolhouse, 1815. And this is the impressive view they have. And now we're driving through Fortrose, which is just up the road from Avoch. Just going to stop off in Fortrose for some coffee, but look at that. There is an amazing ancient medieval abbey. Fortrose dates back to medieval times and was once an important ecclesiastical centre. I heard there's a good bakery here. I cannot get enough of these stone buildings. I know I said that before. That hit the spot. Nothing like a bit of caffeine about mid-morning time. There are churches everywhere in these older villages, and the sound of seagulls.
There's a butcher's there.
That looks like a renovation in progress. We decided to go for a walk through these beautiful ancient city streets before we look at the abbey. This is so pretty. There seems to be a theme for red doors and blue doors. That pattern you see on the corner of that building is a masonry method called coining. The method is used to provide structure, strength, while also adding aesthetic detail to corners.
Used to be a gate over there. Close to them.
Are they wooden surrounds?
Oh,
No, they're block, yeah.
sandstone.
That is amazing. Where history, Gothic revival architecture and Scottish charm meet St Andrews. in yet another breathtaking landmark. I am always amazed at the impressive detail in these older churches and cathedrals. Quite impressive considering the tools they had back in those times. I can just imagine the time that this would have taken to build. That was a quick walking tour of Fortrose. Now we're going to have a closer look at this old historic medieval cathedral. Behind this wall and the trees is Fortrose Cathedral, which dates back to the 13th century. As you can see, the only parts remaining today is the chapter house on the south aisle. Instagram moment. We thought we could go in around the back there. There's only one way in though. Built in the late 1200s. It is thought that this was originally built in 1235. There was a gate on the other side. Didn't see that. Oh right, here's what it used to look like. Step back in time. A stunning black isle ruin with centuries of history etched in its red sandstone walls. This would be one of the oldest buildings I think I've ever seen.
So you can see the footing stones there. And all through here.
Wow, it's huge. Married to the mob, Euphemia, Countess of Ross, paid for the southern island chapel. She is supposedly buried in the tomb on its left side. Her disastrous marriage to Alexander Stewart II was annulled in 1392, 2 years after he burned down Elgin Cathedral. What a plonker. I wonder what stories these walls could tell.
Look at all that for 900 years ago. All of that edging. It's all done, and all of the big ones, it's all done by hand.
Maybe that's Alexander Stewart II. He's only half there. Look for the stone coronet above Lord Seaforth's marble plaque. This symbolises his distinguished aristocratic line, which ended with Mackenzie's death in 1815 following the demise of his 4 sons.
New piece in the window.
It's quite cool from this side as well. The south door. Traces of a projecting porch are seen around it. So where is the projected porch?
You see the lines through on the.
Oh yeah.
So you have to come out to there because there's the footing stones.
That's quite recent, isn't it? 2007. Jean McKitty. Oh, look, that one's quite intact. The full figure is Countess Euphemia. South aisle, I can see that sign. South aisle.
It must be all tombs. It must be all in the floor because it tells you.
I don't know if you can see that detail on the roof there. That's the original roof? It is. What, late 1200s, wasn't it? Oh, wow. That's really impressive. On the wall to your right is a memorial to Francis Humbuston Mackenzie, Lord Seaforth and Chief of Clan Mackenzie. Legend has it that the seer was burnt alive in a tar barrel by the Countess Isabella for revealing that her husband, Kenneth Mackenzie, was being unfaithful. A woman scorned. See the outline of the original building? Check that window out though. How tall is that?
That's the same as that height. This would have all been that height, and they've had to leave that because that's where the tombs are.
That's impressive and worth checking out if you happen to be driving through Fortrose. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe for regular video updates. I'm still a bit jet lagged, wide awake at 4 AM and now it's 10:15 and it's still daylight outside. I'll see you in the morning.